All you lovers out there, let's get married. Marriage is an eternal blessing for the young men and women of this world. But as culture differs from place to place, all weddings are unique in their own ways. We invite you to the rich and splendid wedding scenes of Morocco and Romania. Here we go. Morocco in northwest Africa, it borders the Mediterranean to the north and the Atlantic Ocean to the northwest. Morocco, meaning let's hurry, possesses diverse cultures, for the country was ruled by a number of European countries in its past. This is Agadir, one of the main cities of Morocco. The native people of Morocco are the Berbers, and we visited one of their weddings. By tradition, a Moroccan wedding is held in the bride's home. But these days, many choose to get married in a luxurious wedding hall.
We modeled this wedding hall after the royal palace. Those decorations are called broderick, and all of them are handmade. Also, you call these tiles zeligis, and they were all placed by artisans in a mosaic style. As you can see, our wedding hall is well known for its luxuriousness and splendor. There are not many like ours.
Moroccans do not have qualms about spending a big amount of money for a wedding, for it's a once-in-a-lifetime event and the most joyous occasion in life.
Don't they look splendid? We have another thing to show you. This is a palanquin for a bride, called Amaria. Brides say riding on this palanquin makes their wedding even more special and memorable. It's like a piece of art.
They may look different, but it's interesting to know that Moroccans have bridal palanquins, as in some Asian countries. Usually, a Moroccan wedding takes place for 3 straight days and nights, and the main ceremony is held on the night of the 3rd day. A group of traditional entertainers called Daka Akia lead the way in enlivening the atmosphere and creating joyous mood among the guests with their music and dance. The performance is exciting, and especially the rhythmic hand and shoulders moves that capture your attention. Let's learn how to dance like that.
It's simple. First, roll your feet to the rhythm. And clap your hands. Clap your hands. And just shake your shoulders like this.
At last, the bride and the bridegroom arrive outside the wedding hall to the wild cheers of relatives and guests. The loud reception reminds us that the wedding ceremony is just about to start. Received by gleeful cheers of the guests, the bride and bridegroom enter the wedding hall. The bride joins the wedding ceremony riding on a palanquin. Although Morocco is an Islamic nation, the culture in this country is pretty liberalized, and most couples are born out of their love for each other rather than their family ties. After the oath of marriage in front of the guests, the ceremony enters the final stage. And the traditional dance of the Berber people begins. The dance, which is performed in blue dresses, wraps up the ceremony. The blue is the traditional color of the Berbers. After the 2-hour ceremony, the wedding feast begins. Because it's a custom for Arabs to eat with their hands, guests wash their hands clean first.
You have to wash your hands before you eat.
You've waited long enough, right?
Yeah, and I'm awfully hungry.
The wedding ceremony started at 10 p.m. and the feast begins around midnight. Starting with the traditional wedding dish of pastilla, a series of sumptuous-looking foods are placed on each table one after another. People go to sleep at this hour, but for the guests here, it's time to feast. Among many fares, the favorite of the guests are this veal roast called meshoui. It's considered one of the best Moroccan dishes.
It's great. It's a delicacy.
We have here the most delicious dishes around. They all melt in your mouth. They're great.
From the first dish of pastilla to the last dish of desserts, the feast continues all night until 5 a.m. When the fruits on the platter are placed on each table, it signals the end of the feast. And so the Moroccan wedding ceremony comes to an end. Romania on the northeast part of the Balkan Peninsula in Europe. The capital city of Bucharest is called Paris of East and is a starting point for foreign tourists. Driving about 7 hours from Bucharest, a charming country village appears. It's a typical East European farming village of Maramureş. There is a wedding ceremony being prepared in the village, so we gave a visit. Women of the village were busy making foods for a wedding banquet.
This woman here and her, they're the best cooks in the village. I invited them because it's a special occasion. You can expect a great meal.
Just as in any other countries, a wedding host in Romania provides guests with a sumptuous banquet. They look not much different from our women preparing food for a wedding feast. In one side of the kitchen is a furnace fueled by firewood.
This oven is a great tool in preparing tasty dishes. It's something a great cook can't do without.
One of the most popular banquet dishes for Romanian people is this one called kipfil. It's a fare made with pork.
Don't eat too much.
It's good.
A bride shouldn't eat too much. What if you become too fat for the wedding dress?
At last, the morning of the wedding day arrives. It's 7 a.m. and the bride must have skipped sleep with the anticipation for the most special moment in her life. In the bride's room is her beautiful wedding dress. The bride has been busy from early morning. But somehow she doesn't look too happy. Something must be wrong.
Why does it have to rain on a special day like this? I really don't like this.
Rain on a wedding day is a good omen.
That's not helping.
Then what can we do?
The bride looks really mad.
It's understandable. But she'll be all right.
The bride has been unhappy all morning because of the rain. But in Romania, it is said that a wedding on a rainy day is a blessing for happy marriage with many children.
What do you think of the bride?
She looks so beautiful.
The bride's irritated expression on the face changes to a happy one after she wears the wedding dress. The bridegroom is also busy trying to look his best. It's a Romanian custom to host a small party before a wedding ceremony. Friends of the bride and the bridegroom visit the house for the party.
Oh, welcome.
The guests congratulate their friend's marriage. And at the party, a special ritual for the bridegroom takes place. It's called Strigat Remier, in which the bridegroom's close friends and relatives wish him good luck.
Congratulations. I wish you a happy marriage.
Say something to the camera.
A Romanian wedding is not just a family affair, but also a communal one. And everyone in the village joins in the celebration. The guests and village folks all together parade the streets singing and playing music. It's interesting to see that every male participant has a bottle of liquor in his hand. As it turns out, it's the custom to carry liquor bottles to offer a drink to people they meet on the road. They are walking to the place where the ceremony will be held. The bride and the bridegroom also take part in the procession. The groomsmen walk in front of the couple, holding a white sheet that symbolizes purity. All men, women, and children join in the celebration of this charming country wedding. Being a nation of Greek Orthodox religion, Romanian weddings usually take place in a church. For the ceremony itself, only about 20 guests are present in the church, and without an officiator, the ceremony ends with matrimonial oath and exchanging of wedding gifts. After the ceremony, the wedding banquet begins. But before the banquet, the newlywed couple is made to go through a ritual. They bless the couple and wish them to become rich by throwing rice at them. Some grains of rice enter the couple's clothes, but everybody is happy nonetheless. And there's one more. It's a Romanian wedding custom to break glasses, symbolizing departure from all unhappiness in the past and starting anew. Just as in many other weddings in the world, the Romanian wedding banquet is loud and lively. It continues into the night and the next day. It's considered rude for guests to leave early, so everyone enjoys the banquet to their heart's content and shares the joy until the banquet's end. Like other Latin people, Romanians are passionate, and they celebrate their couple's union with song and dance. A Romanian wedding is a sort of festival for the whole town's folks. Marriage is the most sacred institution for men and women. At a glance, weddings may look different from country to country, but they're similar in that the ceremonies are followed by joyful peace and enjoyment. We wish every newlywed couple in the world a happy marriage. They may have different religions, but they're all devoted to their faith. From the daily Hindu ritual in Bali, Indonesia, to the Laotian charity for their Buddhist monks, and the Thai tradition of making wishes by attaching gold foil on statues of Buddha. Let's meet with the diverse religious traditions of the world. Indonesia is the world's largest island nation. The country is blessed with magnificently translucent ocean waters and clean beaches. Among those places, Bali, called the Island of the Gods, is a favorite of tourists.
Bali's the best. This place is fantastic. I'm in love with it.
On the beaches of Bali, there are things that attract the eyes of visitors. There's small dishes with all sorts of food on them. The dishes with no owners? What are they doing here?
They're offerings to the gods.
Indonesians are mostly Muslim, but in Bali, 90% of the people believe in Hindu religion. In Bali alone, there are more than 20,000 Hindu temples, and devoted followers hold ritual ceremonies all year round.
Music and dance, everything is for our gods. The island itself is an offering to the gods.
All over Bali, people can see offerings called kanang sari, containing such gifts to gods as flour, tobacco, and money. Believing that everything in this world has a soul, the people of Bali make the offering 3 times every day. Not to mention temples, the people even make offerings to roads and buildings and everything that can be seen. They believe gods live with them in their daily lives and consider it a duty to provide the gods with all the necessities of life. Even the name Bali is said to have originated from the word wari, meaning offering. The people of Bali make their offerings day and night, and some even have offerings placed in their automobiles to pray for safe driving.
We use things like flowers, fruits, and grains for the offerings since there are plenty of them. Like this. To the people of Bali, rice is a source of life and a gift from gods. You place the offerings like this, and then you pray.
It may look a bit odd to visitors, but making daily offerings is just a part of the people's life. In Bali, people can easily see middle-aged women making offering dishes with coconut shells under a tree.
Making offering dishes is as important as making an offering.
Since the people make the offerings every day, we need to make a lot of dishes.
However, some people carrying their offerings look more conspicuous than others. They carry big offerings on their heads, and it's a novel sight for foreign visitors. Each woman is carrying an offering called gebogan, which usually consists of fruits, rice cakes, and flowers.
Oh, where are you going?
I'm going to the temple. They're holding a festival today.
Ah, a temple.
Yes.
We followed the well-dressed ladies with gebogans on their heads and entered the temple. The temple was already filled with gebogans brought by others for the festival. In the temple, the Odalan festival was in progress. In the festival, people make their offerings to gods and pray for their wish.
The Odalan is a very important festival for all people of Bali. Women prepare offerings and men make and decorate the altars, beginning 1 month ahead of the festival.
Including an evening gala, Odalan is usually held for 3 or 4 days, but some temples hold the festival longer. The people of Bali are devoted to their religion and always thank their gods. They're pure in heart and sincere in their faith. No wonder Bali is such a beautiful place.
We provide for the gods just as we breathe air. This water symbolizes Buddha's love with which he was the barren earth.
Laos, a Buddhist nation in Southeast Asia. It's 6 o'clock in the morning and the streets are still quiet. A number of Buddhist monks appear in their orange surplices. Where are they going in line this early in the morning? They're all carrying some sort of pot hanging down from their shoulders.
We're on our way to receive food for our breakfast. In Laos, every monk lives on the food provided by our lay brethren, so they can concentrate only on their religion. It's an old tradition. This is the food I received this morning from our fellow believers. It's called takbat.
The Buddhist tradition of takbat makes it possible for monks to concentrate their mind on religious training. In Laos, Buddhist monks of all ages, except the ones in sickbed, do their rounds to receive takbat every morning. After getting their takbats, monks express their gratitude by reading aloud some passages in Buddhist scripture. The takbat is a 700-year-old tradition of this country. Devout believers commit themselves to provide takbat to monks all their life. As can be seen in their sincerity, Laotians are dedicated to their faith, and the religion is a part of their daily lives.
I use this basket to provide takbats all of my life. Making an offering of food to monks each morning is an important part of our daily lives. Doing it makes me feel good.
The monks have their breakfast with the foods they receive from the believers. But before eating, they don't forget to give their prayers. They pray for the welfare and happiness of the people who provide them with food. At last, the monks begin to eat their breakfast. It's the first meal they eat in the last 20 hours. As Buddha instructed, they abstain from eating after 12 o'clock noon.
We thank them very much for the foods they bring us, and we always pray for them.
When it comes to Buddhist religion, Thailand does not fall short of Laos. Being the most well-known Buddhist country in the world, 90% of Thai people are Buddhist. Thus, the Buddhist religion takes huge significance in everyday life of the Thai people. Everywhere in the city stand lavishly decorated Buddhist temples, and each temple serves as a spiritual center for local populace. Whether in joy or in sorrow, Thai people visit temples to pray for their wishes and to find peace. This is a temple in the village of Samut Songkram. Local residents frequent the temple. Unsurprisingly, the temple is filled with people who came to pray. By the way, there's something in this place that catches the eyes of foreign visitors. In In the middle of the altar stands a statue covered with gold. What's the story?
The statue in this temple is not like any other.
We approached the statues to find out more about them. The visitors were busy making offerings of flowers and incense to the statues. But that was not all. Many visitors were attaching something to one of the statues. No one seemed to be bothered by the activity, and as it turned out, they were attaching gold foils. What's the reason? We asked the visitors.
People believe attaching gold foil to the statue will bring them good luck.
Because of the attached gold foils, the bronze statue was turned into a gold statue, at least on the exterior. Thai people believe gold has the power to eliminate anguish and bad karma. They say by attaching gold foils and praying, they will enjoy a better fortune in their next life. Believe it or not.
After I attached the gold foil, I prayed for good health and happiness of my family.
Meanwhile, there was another interesting scene taking place in Samut Songkram. Being a popular tourist site all year round, many street vendors line up the beach walk. But there must be something out of the ordinary. People are gathered around a spot and looking at something. Many stop to see and can't take their eyes off them.
Oh, it looks really creepy.
The identity of the crowd gathers with crabs called Mengda. They're a local specialty. Mengda is a species of horseshoe crab, the origin of which dates back to the time of the dinosaurs. About 60 centimeters in length, it has a peculiar appearance.
People are surprised by their strange looks.
Anyway, where is she going with a live Mengda? As it turned out, people were releasing Mengdas back to the sea. It's one of Buddhist customs to release captured animals to their natural habitats. A Mengda cost about 15 cents, and the believers were buying them to perform their religious rituals. It's a common sight in the area.
Mengdas are considered divine, and it's our tradition to use them for the release ritual.
In Thailand, Mengda is one of the creatures Buddhist religious use for their release ritual. The people pray for their good luck and happiness by saving helpless creatures from death. This is one of the ways by which Buddhists in Thailand keep their faith. What they believe in may differ, but all keep their faith and tradition in their own unique ways. However simple and ordinary their wishes might be, people all over the world never cease to pray.
Prague, the city of culture and romance. The city is filled with novelties that capture the eyes as well as the hearts of tourists. It's a city with 1,000 years of history with a magnificent middle-aged charm. The city is embedded with shining jewels that represent the rich culture and heritage of the Czech people. The Czech Republic is located in the heart of the European continent. The nation is 78,866 square kilometers in size and has a population of 10 million. The capital city of Prague possesses many middle-aged charms, and the city overflows with novelties that reflect the rich cultural heritage of the Czech people. One of its attractions captures the imagination of foreign tourists. It's the famous marionettes of this country. Marionettes are puppets controlled by strings and wires. They're made of wood, and some of the larger puppets weigh more than 20 kilograms. Marionettes have a history of 300 years and are famous for their meticulously crafted appearance and their variety. People love to see string-pulled puppets move and act like a real person.
If you pull this string like this, the puppet's hands move.
The marionette shop is very popular with tourists. It's one of the main tourist attractions in Prague.
Oh, hello. Oh, nice to meet you.
Hi, you look familiar.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I'm Pinocchio. Hi.
Oh, I can't do it.
This is the National Marionette Theater of the Czech Republic. In Prague, the marionette performances are frequently staged. What's the secret of the marionette shows? Let's find out. Firstly, we went backstage where puppets are waiting for their turns to perform. The place gives you a bit of an eerie feeling. Let me introduce Donna Anna, the heroine of Don Giovanni.
As you can see, I'm a lady of exquisite beauty. No wonder the hero Don Giovanni falls in love with me.
I'm the most handsome marionette alive, Don Giovanni. Ha ha ha. Oh, are you taking my picture? No, please don't. I haven't put on my makeup yet.
He's Don Giovanni, the hero of this marionette show.
Hey, where are we going?
The puppet handler takes him to a marionette workshop. Since he is a star, he gets his regular checkup at the marionette workshop.
Don't worry about him. Just leave him to me.
Now, take a look at this man. He's the most famous marionette doctor, Mr. Joseph Picanero. He's been repairing marionettes for 30 years, and he does his job with his hands. Mr. Picanero is the only surviving marionette craftsman in the country. When it comes to making and fixing marionettes, he's one of the best craftsmen in the world. Mr. Picanero puts makeup on Don Giovanni's face with his special dyes. And now the puppet has the look befitting his flamboyance in the narrative of the show. Mr. Picanero attaches the head to the body, and the job is finished.
Right, one last thing. I have to fix the lace. Let's see. His arms look okay. He's in great shape. Take it back. I fixed every problem.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Goodbye.
The traditional Czech marionette play satirized the life of aristocracy between the period of Renaissance and the 19th century. The shows are still very popular. The comically recreated marionette version of the opera Don Giovanni is only performed in Prague. Since 1991, the performance has been put on stage more than 3,000 times, and each year, an average of 40,000 people come to see the show. Since 1991, the performance has been put on stage more than 3,000 times, and each year, an average of 40,000 people come to see the show. Always sold out is one of the main attractions in the Czech Republic. Meanwhile, there's one thing that stands out in the Czech marionette performances. Unlike others, they show the moving hands of the puppet handlers. It's a unique experience for the audience where they can see the delicate hand moves of the puppet masters. It's one of the pleasures of the city of Prague has to offer. Finally, the 2-hour performance is over, and the audience is still excited over the show.
The music and the movement of the marionettes were in perfect harmony. It was a splendid performance.
The marionettes moved like real people, and their costumes were great as well.
Along with the marionette version of Don Giovanni, there's another popular tourist attraction in Prague. The spacious museum is filled with a variety of vehicles, and the display shows the history of modern transportation's development. The museum may look ordinary, but there's a special story regarding the place. In 1908, the Habsburg and their aristocracy set up this museum to house their favorite high-tech gizmos of the time. The place started as a royal establishment. But in 1939, the museum was reshaped into the National Museum of Technology for the Czech people. Bicycles, motorcycles, automobiles, and airplanes, the transportation section of the museum has it all. Among many, some displays attract more visitors than others. There are the early models of automobiles in a variety of shapes and sizes. The female visitors show as much interest as the male visitors.
They are very different from the automobiles of today.
Now take a look at this automobile.
This one is a very special automobile. There are none like this.
It's an early model of a Mercedes-Benz built in 1893. One can glimpse how the automobile technology evolved by taking a close look at the vehicle. The headlight uses candles instead of a light bulb. There's more. This is a steam locomotive called Kladno, built in 1855 in Vienna.
Look at this. This is the crest of the royal family in the days of Czechoslovakia. This train here was the train personally used by the Archdukes of Austria.
Only 2 of the train cars are displayed in the museum. Don't they look luxurious? There's something else that caught our eye. How about this bicycle? It looks very interesting.
Doesn't it look funny? It's a bicycle with one handle and 2 seats. 2 people are supposed to control it, so if one falls asleep, you're in trouble.
Prague is called the Rome of the North, as well as a live museum for architecture. It's a beautiful city. It's a romantic place tourists dream of visiting. In 1992, UNESCO designated Prague as one of the world's cultural heritage sites, and the city is alive with history. Small wonder why 80 million tourists visit Prague during all seasons every year. The Czech Republic thrives on tourism. There's yet another novelty in the country that attracts tourists' attention.
You must see it to believe it.
This place is a must-see for tourists.
Go and see it for yourself.
Driving east from Prague for an hour, you arrive at a quiet country town called Kutna Hora. This small village became a popular tourist site because of this cathedral. Entering the cathedral, one notices something very creepy all over the place. What are they? Skull Cathedral. Are they all real skulls and bones? They're all over the cathedral. A careful look reveals that the cathedral was painstakingly decorated with skulls and bones. In the center of the cathedral is its highlight, the chandelier of skulls and bones. It's made of every part of skull and bones in the human body. Named Skull Cathedral, it was built in the Baroque style by a famous Italian architect in 1710.
There is a special tale related to the completion of this cathedral.
The year was 1318. Many nameless soldiers and innocent civilians perished in a religious war. Altogether, 40,000 bodies were buried in a cemetery, on which now stands the Skull Cathedral. As the small cathedral cemetery ran out of space to accommodate those remains, it was decided to decorate the cathedral with skulls and bones. They first disinfected the remains and colored them with some special dyes to use them for decoration, and the rest were buried again. The visitors can hardly believe what they see and look around the cathedral in astonishment. We were curious about what they thought about the place, so we asked.
It's hard to understand why they use skulls and bones for decoration, but it's unique.
I can sense something artistic about the decoration.
The land of history, where time travel to the past is possible. The Czech Republic is a country filled with countless relics from the past. There are thousands of different pastimes in the world. A favorite pastime of the Macanese, the dog race. See stilt fishing on 2 meters poles in Sri Lanka. And the cockfight of the Philippines. Let's meet with unique pastimes of the world. Mako is located 60 kilometers west of Hong Kong. The country was ruled by Portugal for 400 years, and Western culture coexists with Chinese culture in harmony. Mako is very famous for its casinos. Dubbed the Las Vegas of Asia, its casino industry rakes in more than $3 billion each year. But there's something that matches the popularity of the casinos in Mako. It's the dog race. Not to mention the Macanese, the dog race even attracts a lot of spectators from Hong Kong. It's a very popular sport. As in horse racing, spectators can bet on races that make the sport even more exciting.
The race is full of thrills.
This is the best way to blow off stress.
This is the venue for sport, Kenadrome Dog Race Track in North Mako. It's the largest dog racetrack in Asia, and crowds of spectators flock to the venue to enjoy the races. The first race usually starts at 7 p.m. You can bet once with the admission ticket, and you can bet more if you have the money. There's no betting limit. The large number of spectators show the popularity of the dog race. By disposition, Macanese people love to gamble on games or sports, and the dog race is one of their favorite pastimes. The races in this venue are broadcasted all over the world by satellite TVs, and that shows how popular the sport is.
I come here once a week.
The dog race is a good way to relieve stress.
I went a little over budget today.
The betting tickets in his hands show how much people love to bet on the dog race.
I will win.
Now it's time for a race, and the race dogs are brought out on the track. The race dogs are greyhounds imported from Australia. The greyhound is the fastest dog on the earth. Well-trained greyhounds can run at a speed of 70 kilometers per hour. The price for a racing greyhound ranges from $1,000 to $7,000, depending on their race results. Starting with the first one, there's a race every 20 minutes. Altogether, 15 races are held a night. A fake bunny tainted with the smell of food is made to run on the machine pole first, and then the dogs are released for the race. Now, much of the anticipated dog race begins. Usually 6 to 8 dogs participate in the race, and they're made to run 300 to 500 meters around the track at an average speed of 70 kilometers an hour. But rather than the race itself, the spectators are more interested in their betting outcome.
The one I picked didn't win.
It's operated in the same manner as horse racing. The dog race seems a very popular pastime for the Macanese people.
I won today. Today must be my lucky day.
It looks like a good idea to enjoy the exciting dog race in the cool evening breeze with the Macanese people. Sri Lanka is a small island nation in the Indian Ocean. The beautiful beach is full of bathers. Under a tree, carefree young men are enjoying themselves by dancing to their traditional tunes. Even foreigners can easily join in the dance. Everything is easy and relaxed in this place. By the way, at the beach, one can meet with an interesting sight. Men are sitting in long poles that are immersed in the waters. Men head to the waters with a long pole, and many are doing something on the poles. As it turns out, they're engaging in stilt fishing, which is the traditional fishing method of the native people.
I'm fishing. This is how we catch fish.
People can easily see the natives stilt fishing in the southern beaches of Sri Lanka. They place a long pole in 2-meter deep sea water and fish sitting on the poles.
It's very fun, and it's really easy too.
Still fishing is a popular pastime for men of Sri Lanka. To avoid the heat of the day, they usually enjoy their pastime during early morning or in the evening.
I don't care how many I catch. I just enjoy my time out here. You should try it.
Men bring home their fish, and their wives make delicious meals with them. Having fun while providing for your family at the same time seems a very good idea indeed. In the backdrop of a beautiful beach, a family feast begins. It looks like they're having a great time.
It's delicious.
The meal tastes great. Stilt fishing is my favorite pastime.
Laos, a nation of 5.5 million people. This is the back alley of a marketplace in the capital city of Vientiane. The men taking a break from the heat of the day are playing some kind of game. Looks like the men are playing marbles.
As you can see, we're playing marbles. It's one of our pastimes. We play the game with these balls. They're pretty heavy. It's a fun game.
They're playing a game called Bei Tong. It's a pastime for adult men, and they use large-sized heavy marbles in the game. The team that places the large marbles close to the small ones wins the game. Since the marbles are so heavy, only adult men can play Bei Tong. Let's see what kind of pastimes Filipinos enjoy. This is Cebu, which is called the Black Pearl of the East. With its beautiful tropical beaches, Cebu is a very popular resort spot. This is a sports arena in the city. For some reason, the place is booming with people. The most eye-catching things among them are the chickens. What are they going to do with them?
No, they're not ordinary chickens. They're all fighting cocks.
All the fighting cocks are equipped with the blades called tear at their ankle. This is a government-authorized cockfighting arena called Cockpit. For a long time, cockfighting has been a traditional pastime for Filipinos, and spectators can make bets on matches. Every weekend, the arena attracts a large number of spectators. Before the matches, all fighting cocks are attached with a blade at their ankle. For spectators, a cock's 4 claws are not enough, and it shows how enthusiastic they are about cockfights.
Cocks need a weapon to fight with.
With the blade, fighting cocks pierce the armpits of their opponents. The armpits are the most vulnerable point in a cock's body. In each region of the Philippines, there are scores of fighting cock trainers. Watching weekend cockfights is one of the most popular pastimes for men of this country. During the weekend, the arena becomes filled with cheering noises of spectators. Hosting cockfights in an unauthorized place is illegal and punished by law. One can easily understand why by looking at the spectators. Some of the spectators come to the arena just to enjoy cockfights, but a larger number of spectators come to the place to win money with their bets. While some people think this is a harmless pastime, others criticize cockfights as a form of gambling.
Oh, wait just a minute. It will start soon.
When the owners enter the cockpit with their fighting cocks, spectators send loud cheers. Fighting cocks are called montons, and owners especially prefer Shamo species for their thick bones and neck. At the whistle of a game official, cocks are released and the fight begins. Like boxers, the cocks first try to size up its opponent, but in a blink, they're dueling in air and on the ground. The cockfight is similar to boxing, but it attracts more professional gamblers. A fight ends when a cock runs away or gets killed. A winner is usually decided within 6 clashes at most. A game official called kume oversees the match and judges the outcome.
My cock won!
There are many pastimes in the world, which make life more enjoyable. And pastimes in each country reflect the lifestyles and the culture of the people living there. People all over the world continue to enjoy life in their own unique ways.